So we've got on the, kind of trying to do this fairly. So that is an 8,050C pack. The 50C was realistically the only thing I cared about. Just for this particular thing, the 8,000 didn't matter. The weight, I don't know. I don't think the weight is going to be an issue. You can see that we've got that thing pretty much charging, almost topped off. Then over here, we have this battery pack. This is all the way charged. This is a 2-cell pack, 50C. And like I said, the 50C was the most important part because I want to be able to give this a fair shot. I want to go 50C to 50C pack because that's the discharge rate. So, yeah. So today on RC Guy Garage, we're going to do a couple of what's called test hits on the team-associated DR10 drag race. It's that vehicle right there. So, yeah, I don't know. If you're interested in watching this episode from RC Guy Garage, you already know what to do. Now, it's just get out there and check at least the track conditions. Because while this is considered no prep, yeah, you still need to check the surface. I mean, you can't have like sand and water and all that garbage on there. Still gotta check the track surface and at least see if it's even worthy of taking this thing out this early in the morning. So let's go check it out. Yeah, I know. All right, so like I said, let's it doesn't seem very promising, but because it rained. It either rained last night or it rained really early this morning. I'm going to go on the fact that maybe it rained last night. So, obviously one of the things that may be a negative, my drag strip, the HOA drag strip, the RC Guy Garage dragway. It's wet. We got a little bit of dryness, but this pavement out here, this actually should dry up pretty quick. And we could probably get a couple of launches from here, like where the drains are. Just kind of do a line. That's my line right there. And we could just take off and, I don't know. Maybe what I should do is get out my 132-foot measuring device. And then maybe just do some lines and, yeah, I don't know. So, you still have to check the track. You know, it's not like you're not putting stuff down, you're not laying like some kind of coating. And if you know what I mean by coating, I mean like an additive where you kind of drive on that center line right there and maybe get just a little bit more traction. I have no idea. All right, we got a couple of packs already prepped for this team-associated DR10 no prep. We got a 2S pack. It's going to be the first one to go in. This is an HRB 5000 50C. And then, obviously, right here, this is an Ovonic Air, which I've been very surprised with these batteries. This is a 8,000 milliamp pack, 3S at 50C. And, yeah, of course, this one's going to be a little bit heavier, but it's going to also provide a little bit more power. Maybe a little bit more weight to the ground. After seeing Earl Moorhead's video, to be honest with you, I'm unimpressed. I'm kind of unimpressed, so I do have to see for myself, and yeah. So, let's just toss a battery in this thing. I already got the batteries in the remote. Let's throw a 2S pack in this DR10, take it out to the RC Guy Garage dragway, or drag strip, and we'll see if the thing even launches straight. I don't know. We'll check it out. Hopefully the sun had a chance to dry the pavement. I am liking, I know this is kind of crazy, I am liking the styling more and more. It, like we've already said, this is, you know, 100%, this is a Mopar, and how did I already lose a body clip? Are you kidding me? I already lost a body clip. You gotta be kidding. Alright, well, whatever. Don't forget, COVID and coffee this morning at 9:30. Hopefully I'll make it. It's almost 9 o'clock right now. Alright. So, like I said, I'm going to toss this pack in first. Let's get you down here. You know, so you can see how to properly install a battery. And I did actually have a couple of packs that had Deans. So, maybe I'll just leave those couple of packs as my Deans packs for ripping. For drag race ripping. And right away, the pack doesn't fit. Sweet. All right. All right.
All right.
That kind of ticks me off. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to modify my foam. I'm going to rip it out of there. It is on there with sticky tape, and I'm going to slice it with a razor blade. Hopefully I have a razor blade. I'm just going to ginsu it right now with a razor blade. How is that in there? Like that. So, we only needed just a little bit. Of course, I picked the dullest razor blade on the planet. Hey, here we go. Wow, I just poked my razor blade into my pack. My God, this is off to a great start here on What's Up Guy Garage. Just kidding, RC Guy Garage. And my pack doesn't fit because of the wires. All right, well, whatever. I guess that was a waste. I'll just strap that bad boy down like that. Motor wires are kind of in the way. This is definitely not a quick strap down car. The way they got the wires routed. That's annoying right off. Yeah, somehow I'm going to have to fix that. Rip off these tags. We don't need this tag right here. We don't need this flag tag. All right, look at that. Just rip the whole antenna out of there. Like I said, off to a great start. Just jam that thing down in there. Put that little antenna tube back in. I don't know what this sticker says. I don't think they could make the writing any smaller. Battery must be disconnected when the vehicle is not in use. Something about it might, I don't know, might result in ESC failure. Failure to do so may result in ESC failure and the possibility of fire. Okay, cool. So I'm going to plug this pack in. Let's see if it fires up. Grab our remote, turn it on. Remote's on. And 2S, you heard that? Steering is actually ultra fast. I think I would want to turn the rate down. I put the rate just for my own. Put the rate at like, I think it's like, I got the rate set at 3 just for now. Just to limit, I guess, my steering. Because I have no idea what this thing is going to do. And because, hopefully people like understand or get this. So because this is a Mopar, right? And of course what I'm trying to find, I can't find. Yeah. Because this is a Mopar, right? Some people might get this and some people might not. We've got a couple of body pin options that I am actually going to go with instead of going with the silver. So, I know these aren't like exact, but we're going to go with Plum Crazy Purple. I think that was actually one of the colors. I think it was called Plum Crazy. I could be wrong. I'm just going by memory. That is what I'm going with. And one of the crazy things that I actually want to do to this, which to some people probably doesn't make sense, I want to put the hood pins with tethers right where they should be. And see those screws right there that hold obviously this front section of the body on, or front the grill or whatever. I think the tethers could actually screw it into those areas. And if I can somehow make it so that I can have body pins up front, I definitely think that would be, cool. Because sometimes it literally is in the details, you know? I mean, at least that's what I appreciate. So, and I know these colors don't go, but it's just, that's just what I want to do. So we've got our Plum Crazy body pins, front and back. And things ripping on 2S. And I just reach my hand under there, shut off the power until we get outside. That is what's nice about these larger bodies, is that there's plenty of room to go ahead and like reach your hand in and, you know what I mean, get in there and turn things off and whatever. My what I did discover when you look down the body of this car, which stuff like this drives me insane. So I did show on that video my passenger side rear body mount pin. I had called it the shock tower because I was just in the moment. But whatever, my body mount is actually kicked down. So it's causing the whole passenger side rear of my vehicle to be sagging. And I don't like that right off. I tried to bend it, but plastic, just like metal, it has what's called memory. So once it's like bent sometimes into a certain position, it kind of wants to go back to it. So you have to like take it beyond. But I think I'm going to have to figure out a heating gun because I still haven't fixed my Harbor Freight heating gun. It's the difference between $4 and an hour of repair. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll fix it. So we're going to take this DR10. We're going to give it a couple of no prep test hits just to see what it does. I'm going to bring out a 3S pack. You already saw that, so let's just get out there and rip it. All right. We are now outside with the Team-associated DR10. We're going to give it a couple of test hits. It's on 2S. It's a 50C pack made by HRB. And I don't know if this thing needs to be trimmed out of the box, but we'll give it a shot. So I'm going to give it a couple of rips. The pavement is definitely nice and warm right now. The air temperature, probably around 50 degrees or whatever. But the sun has actually been able to kind of, do its thing, and we'll see what happens. No prep, DR10. It already needs to be trimmed. So, steering trim. I'm just going to give it a couple of just passes right here, just to check its straightness. Now that kind of has the sound. I really don't like the fact that my body is totally lopsided. I actually don't like that. That kind of is annoying. But that's just a personal opinion. I do have my dual rate turned down, which limits my steering, but it also will hopefully change maybe the way the car reacts. So we're going to GoPro on. GoPro on. And we're just going to give it a launch just to see what happens. All right. So mine did go a little bit to the right, which is fine. But the launch itself seems all right. See, the way this is looking, it's just driving me nuts. Look at it. It's tipped so bad. Come right up to the starting line right here. Do it again. We'll get behind it. We'll make sure that the car is actually set straight. And we'll give it a launch. In 3, 2, 1, rip. So mine is actually launching fairly straight. This is on 2S. It is cold tires. I do see that my trim is still a little off. It does have the wobble, so there goes the wobble. But the wobble is just, so far the wobble was just coming back. It seemed like drive-wise, it seemed like it was all right. So we'll put it right there. We're just going to give it, that rip right from here. Give it a launch. Hooks. And actually straightens out. I don't know if I actually straighten that out, though. So, on very light steering, mine actually does give a little wobble, but it's nothing bad. Maybe turning the dual rate down helped this car. Now, remember, these are cold launches. So, let's see what it does. Still hooks to the right a little bit. My steering trim is off. Watch. See how it's doing the wobble? The wobble, it's only doing the wobble when I'm trying to steer it. I do feel like because my dual rate is down, maybe that's helping. So it is, did I say it's turning to the right? I can't remember now. Something sounds funky with my pinion. The steering trim, the steering trim is ultra sensitive. Let's give it another launch. All right, so it did hook. It did definitely hook to that right. It's actually a drag car too. It's got a wheelie bar and everything. Right. Yeah. Looks like a Mopar, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It looks like a Challenge or a Barracuda.
Right.
That thing's dry.
Yeah, it moves. Now it's just on 2S. It definitely has more of a tendency to want to hook and go to the right. We're just going to give it one more shot. It's actually hooking up pretty good, as is, without doing a burnout. So, it's not bad. It definitely has a good roll to it. So, we may have to check out. Make sure the thing is fully planted. I have no idea what so like I'm saying, I have no idea what gyro settings are and all the other stuff. I don't even know if my gyro's working. I am giving it a little bit of left side correction during the launch. But out of the box, on 2S, it's hooking, you know what I mean? So now let's give it a little bit of a tire burn on 2S and see what it does. Definitely hooked better, and it's still wanting to go to that right. So I'm only seeming to get that speed wobble very, very minimal. If you saw Earl Moorhead's, his was just like, his whole vehicle was wasted out of the box. I feel like Earl got what's called either a Friday or a Monday build car. And what that means, like if you're familiar with that terminology, a Friday build is like literally Thirsty Thursday. Everybody's hammered at the shop and they're just building stuff to get it out the door because the weekend's here. Then, if it's a Monday build, well, that kind of means almost the same thing. That means they got hammered over the weekend, and they're not happy to be at work. So, I guess maybe the work maybe isn't quite up to par. Mine seems more like a Tuesday, Wednesday build, maybe even a Thursday build, because everybody's like hopped up and pumped out to go to the bar. So let's give it another little burn. Give it a rip. Oh, definitely hooked. So that was a much better takeoff on that one right there. I still don't like the fact that the body is just jacked. So I have to fix that because that's going to drive me insane. Yeah, you know what? Let's just, I'm satisfied with 2S. To be honest with you, I see zero fault so far. This is out of the box. So with my team associated DR10 on 2S, straight out of the box, very minor trimming, I'm not having any of the issues that Earl Moorhead had associated with his vehicle. So yeah, he definitely got a Monday, Friday build. So let's throw a 3S in it. Before I throw the pack in it, because I did pick it up, my gyro actually is working. So I don't know if you can see that. So my gyro is working. It might be the fact that beforehand, I knew to turn the dual rate down, and I'm sure Earl knows that himself, but that might not be something that somebody knows right out of the box. So who knows? Maybe mine's not having an issue just because I turned the dual rate down. I don't know. So now you can see we've got the Ovonic Air 8050C pack in there. And I definitely am going to be unplugging those motor wires and moving them. I think I want to move them into that center hole location because where they are located right now, I don't like it. For me, it's wrong. It actually needs to go through that center hole. If you focus on it, needs to go through that center hole right there. And that way the wires are kind of out of the way. So let's just plug this in and give it a couple of rips. I mean, we got COVID and coffee at 9:30. Got to get this thing going. I don't know. Maybe it's my plum crazy purple Eclipse. Maybe that's why my Mopar is ripping it. So we are running it on 3S right now. Let's just give it a shot. Probably not going to make the turn in my driveway. Yeah, I don't want to get the tires nasty. I don't like the way the pinion's sounding. So the pinion to the spur mesh kind of sounds a little funky. Might have to check that out. So I'm going to give it a cold rip on 3S first, just to see what it does. I'm going to get a straight back launch like this, just to see, I don't know. I just want to see what this thing is going to be like, just on a straight line. 3S. 3, 2, 1. All right.
All right.
Definitely hooks way to the right. So on 3S, we're definitely going to need to burn those tires up a little bit. So let's give it a 3S burn. Maybe get rid of that piece of glass. So 3S burn. That's about right. Rip it. Definitely hooks. And that gyro definitely wanted to give it some some adjustment. So I did actually grab the stick. It's just by habit. I'm afraid to give it a launch and just allow the gyro to do the work itself. That's not what I want to do anyway. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm actually going to bring the car over to the left side lane, give it a burn, give it a rip. Give it a rip. Oh! All right. Definitely comes alive, and the gyro, you saw it, it's definitely with the speed of the vehicle. So we might have something that's out of adjustment. It might be like toe of the front wheels. It might be something with the rear end. I'm not sure. I'm going to give it another burn because it definitely likes it. A burn on 3S. Give it a rip. All right, so that was much better. And I'm going to bring the car in and tell you exactly why that was better. Now, you shouldn't be, on the return trip anyway, you shouldn't be full throttle anyway. You want to just return your trip, treat it like a regular drag race vehicle. I mean, I feel like that's kind of what you have to do. So, I'm done right now. Turn that GoPro off. And that last rip that I just did, what I did is I gave it some pre-left turn. So I actually had the front wheels slightly cocked to the left because obviously in its current configuration, it's wanting to hook to that right side. So I counteracted, or I counter-steered it myself in the beginning just to make it so that it was maybe more manageable. But I will tell you right now, for mine, out of the box, I'm actually pretty pleased. You know what? It actually looks like a good. So I just got a nice shot of it. It actually looks pretty good. And like I said, so my experience with the DR10, sun is probably blowing me out, so I'll walk backwards. So my experience with the DR10, I feel is actually probably totally the opposite with Earl Moorhead. So Earl Moorhead obviously got what's called possibly, there's another term, it's called a bad egg. So he's probably going to have to be doing a lot more tuning, OTB, which is out of the box, than I have to do. And that's sad. But that's also RTR and mass production and quality control. And, yeah, I mean, you just know. You know that stuff like that happens. Would I actually buy another one of these? Man. Yeah. So if I was going to buy one, would I buy one of these DC10s or DR10s? I keep calling it a DC10. Would I buy, after just ripping it just a couple of times that I did, would I take my money and buy another Team Associated DR10? The answer is yeah, because my experience with it, granted, even what I had seen, and it's not like Earl did anything wrong. He did nothing wrong other than the fact that just probably his DR10 was just that Friday, Monday build, and that's a sad situation. But hopefully, people seeing this video, I don't know, maybe you might think of it differently. I know, at least for myself, I know I do. And I'm kind of glad. I feel bad for you, Earl. I feel bad that you got a crappy one. But don't let it stop you. Drag racing is all about the experience. It's all about the ride. It's about, kind of like, that Harley Davidson. It's about the ride and the destination. I mean, I don't know. I like it. And then to see my neighbor, he was like, oh, that thing screws. So if you like content like this from RC Guy Garage, we just ripped the Team Associated DR10, and my experience with it actually worked pretty good. So we will do some further checking and tuning and see if we can get this to go straight without a little bit of predetermined steering help. So anyways, just get out there, and like I said, get out there and rip it. Give it a rip. Oh, that is nuts. All right. Definitely comes alive, and the gyro, you saw it, it's definitely with the speed of the vehicle.